Hello, everyone. Coming up this week, the news is very light, so get ready for a boring episode. But we are going to talk about Christmas. That's coming. Also, Morgan's going to tell us a little bit about the Avengers experience at the Void. Plus, we're going to have some more fun for you. From the Bob Varley Studio and points around California, this is the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged. This is episode 787 of the Diz Unplugged Disneyland edition for the week of October 23rd, 2019. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation. Visit them on the web at www.DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com. And also by Disboards.com. Join over 1 million Disney fans discussing their Disney vacation, the latest news, rumors, and so much more. Visit Disboards.com and join the discussion today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged Disneyland Edition. I am your host, Craig Williams. Today, I'm joined alongside by my co-host, Rhino.
Hello.
Hi. And then also joining us in the studio in the back, we've got Corey Fiescanaro.
Hey, guys.
And then coming to us from California, of course, we've got the incorrigible Tom Bell.
Hey, everyone.
And the smarter beyond her wits, Morgan Lamone.
Hi.
Sorry, we just recently found out that Morgan identifies as a Ravenclaw, so I need to give her credit where it's due.
I was wondering where that was coming from. I'm like, okay.
Do you not identify as Ravenclaw? You said we have all 4 houses down now.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I do identify as a Ravenclaw.
Good. Okay. Then I stand by what I said. So, hey, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, I appreciate nothing more than a callback from someone else in the room or on a computer, too. I just like someone to respond sometimes. It's nice having that human communication. I hope everyone at home or wherever you're watching, whether it's in the car, listening, hope you're listening if you're in a car, but I hope you're talking to your device when I say stuff
yeah,
like
I
that.
hope you're listening in the car.
Listen, I know people watch in their car. Yeah. So it's called people in the back seat of their ride share or whatever transportation. We don't need to get into where people are listening and watching. That doesn't matter, but I hope you're responding to me when I say stuff like hello. It's very much like a child watching
It's me.
or that, yeah. I was going to say it's like a child watching daytime kids TV, where you're supposed to just talk to the screen the entire time, looking like an insane person,
Like the baby son on Teletubbies.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that baby doing up there?
What? Yeah.
What's he doing? He's just Googling.
Okay, we are off the rails already on that, but that's good. We need to have a little fun because today's going to be not a terrible episode, but it's going to be definitely one of our weaker episodes we've had. Definitely the weakest this week.
Because of week?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was... Okay.
I had a week back. About a week back.
Make a note to not say that joke anymore. That one did not work out, but yeah, we're gonna have fun here. Got a little bit of news to go over. Like I said, Morgan's gonna talk about the Void in just a little bit, but before we get there, we're gonna start with housekeeping as always. I'm actually gonna go first, and I'm gonna give a little bit of plugs towards us in a way. So last week, I believe I waited all the way to the very end of the episode to let y'all know that going up alongside last week's episode was going to be our dining review that we had a French market. And for the next couple weeks, at least, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks, give or take, we're going to have, going up alongside our regular show, we're going to have also a special dining review going up with it. Actually, this week, I think we're going to have 2 because, as Tom pointed out before this week's show, that I neglected, after giving him crap on this show about not sharing with me his Rancho del I always mispronounce it. His little treat segment he did with Mary Jo. I completely forgot to put that up after giving him such a hard time about it. And so we'll have that going up. And that's awesome because Tom did that with Mary Jo. So for all those people out there who have been asking, where's Mary Jo? Or I assume, well, they usually ask one of two things. They say, where's that brown-haired lady? And I don't know if they mean Mary Jo. I don't know if they mean Luella. I'm not really quite sure, but
Wait, what's that brown-haired lady? Where's she?
Yeah, we're checking off. We're checking off one of two boxes with that. So regardless, you are going to get a brown-haired lady. On our YouTube feed this week.
Will
from
be me
Mary
in a
Jo.
wig.
Yeah, I mean, we always have a brown-haired lady sitting to my left, and you can't see that in relation, but he's there. And
I assure you, my hair is brown.
yeah, I mean,
for all you listeners,
it's a brown black. It's very close. It's bordering on there. So yeah, but we're going to have that treat review with Mary Jo and Tom, and then we'll have another dining review. I don't remember which one, so I can't tell you which one it is. But those will also be available in our iTunes feed, so that way for your listeners out there, we don't want to make you feel left out that you're not getting to hear these dining reviews and snack reviews since they're not a part of the show. So we're bringing them to you. I apologize for the audio quality in them because obviously we're shooting these on location. So there is a degradation in quality on that. But at the same time, you're getting that little bit of an extra bonus there for you. So I think that outweighs the terrible audio quality in a sense. But so that is my housekeeping on that, and then also have to do a correction from last week's show because it wasn't long before the show was published that I got a text from Sam, who you might remember from this show, or our good friend Sam Carter, letting me know that although the mountains in Toontown they were very close to the buildings that were behind that were demolished, the mountains actually were freestanding on these big giant pools. So it's very possible that the mountains could return very quickly, but it's not like when the buildings went down that they had to demolish all the mountains because they were attached. They weren't actually attached, and I don't know where I misremembered that or didn't pay enough attention to it, but he pointed that out very quickly, and I told him at that point.
They were still probably in the way, though.
Yes, still in the way, but not like it wasn't. I guess I painted the picture from my memory that they were physically attached, and they actually they weren't. They were on poles that were just very close to the buildings, and I responded with, "Well, Sam, that's my fault for not having you on the show as often as we were having him before. So we'll have to bring him back in the mix soon."
Did you see the rumor that they started to take them down, and then they just kind of like fell?
Oh, Tom, don't say that.
Okay.
But no, is that what they think happened?
There was a comment. There was comment on YouTube about it.
Yeah, I've been taking a break on reading YouTube comments for a while here, just pumping the brakes. So
They usually say good things about you, Craig.
I'm sure they do. It's not about the good things they say. It's about how riled up I get during some of the other ones, and so I haven't. But that's interesting. So they think it was like was it Humpty Dumpty where. No, that was he fell over, broke his egg.
He broke his egg. He is an egg.
He is an egg. Yeah, that's correct. So, are we thinking it was a Domino's situation? Someone
Like pizza?
It might have been. Yeah.
Pizza?
Oh, they fall over.
Oh my God. You mean Domino's?
I was like, you mean like when you get the pizza and it's terrible?
Wow, that's brutal against Domino's.
Domino's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
It's fine.
We're not getting sponsored by Domino's anymore. So that's it. That's interesting that they think it all just kind of fell over like
Domino's,
that.
change my mind. Change it.
Okay, maybe one day.
Someday the hills are alive. I wish I had said that differently.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to switch over to Tom because I know he has a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, we don't talk about Knott as much as we used to, but I wanted to bring this up because it's timely. Knott does so Disneyland does their own military tickets, but Knott also does a military tribute days, and it's starting soon. So if you are active, retired, or even just a U.S. not just but or a U.S. veteran, of the military, you can get a free ticket for you and one guest. Dates for this year are November 3rd through the 21st or December 2nd through the 19th. And you just have to, you don't even have to wait in line. You just go up to the turnstile, show your proper identification, and they let you into the park. So if you are in Southern California late this year, want to take a day trip to Knott's Berry Farm for free, that's how you can do it.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome. So just another reason to love Knotts, and we do need to start talking about them more. We are hoping, we always hope to get over there anytime we're out in California. Obviously, we didn't have time this past one, but Tom, you need to start incorporating it into your trips more often.
Okay.
So, because we love Knotts. Big proponents.
There's probably
of
still
Knotts.
time to get over there for Knott's Scary Farm too.
Yeah. Running out of time, but then holidays come in, and I'm sure Knott's Berry Farm does a little bit for the holidays as well too. Don't they do a Snoopy Christmas show there?
Yeah, the Snoopy Christmas or the Ice Show, which is always awesome.
That's my jam. Love me some Snoopy. Nothing says Christmas like Snoopy, in my opinion. But
now, is there because I've been to Knott's one time when I was in the Navy. I think we might have taken advantage of that, one of those deals. Is there a Johnny Rockets there?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's what I remember. I remember going to eat at Johnny Rockets.
Well, nothing says theme parks like Johnny Rockets.
They have one of those at the Mall at Millennia, too, if you're interested.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
They also have them on some of the Royal Caribbean ships.
Oh, yeah, they do. That's right. Yeah.
We had one at the Braintree Mall back in Massachusetts, but it closed down a few years ago. But,
Johnny Rockets, serving up burgers, French fries, onion rings, and good times.
This episode sponsored by Johnny Rockets. It was not.
Okay, and then I believe, not putting words into mouth, but Morgan wanted to share some housekeeping about a popular ABC television show that you might want to check out that recently featured Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, Disney Night on Dancing with the Stars was last week. I actually got to it last night because I watched with a group of friends. They filmed it at Disneyland, and if you can, go on YouTube and check out like the opening number. They're dancing all around Disneyland and Main Street, and there's this whole balloon wall that like gets broken down, and it's the articulated Mickey talking, which is really fun. So yeah, go check it out if you're a big Disney fan.
Yeah, very interesting. I have not checked it out. I might one day. Probably not, though. Let's be honest. So, any other housekeeping? No? Okay. Well, then we are going to just drop right into the little bit of news that we do have. And I know Rhino's pumped about this first one. So, not so much, it won't impact his California experiences coming up. He'll be able to impact his Walt Disney World experiences here a little bit, but not California. But you are going to have the chance, if you're out in California, to get a small little preview of Frozen 2. I know, very exciting. As if you needed any more previews of it. I don't know who else has been. I know you haven't.
Show the movie at this point.
Yeah, they essentially should just open it early. You have ad-free Hulu, but I can promise you, on the version of Hulu with ads, if I'm watching an ABC show on there, every single commercial break, there is one preview.
Hulu is owned by Disney too.
I know.
So interesting.
And and if it's not an ABC show, they throw in a trailer for Maleficent to kind of like counterbalance it. And those have been the only two trailers I have seen now in every single commercial break for like the past 3 weeks, and I'm starting to rip my hair out, like to the point where I'm like, maybe I should get ad-free Hulu because I am getting really sick of it.
And now they're going to add the Star Wars trailer too, because that just got released.
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. There's some questionable moments in that trailer, like what's going on with C-3PO there, and I want one last look at my friends, and there's something weird going on there that I don't know I'm fully comfortable with, but I will welcome Star Wars over Frozen, but in the parks at least. So starting November 3rd, you'll have a look at moments from the film presented during performances of Frozen live at the Hyperion in Disney California Adventure, which since it's saying that, sounds like you're not actually getting your own standalone preview anywhere for it. So just little looks at it.
I'm assuming they're doing it before the show or something like that, but it's kind of interesting that because they've never done something like that before, where they do it in that theater. Because usually they'll use the Sunset Showcase Theater or even the Main Street Opera House or the Tomorrowland Theater, but this is something new, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm really shocked. Sorry, go ahead, Morgan.
Didn't they show like not Frozen Ever After, Frozen Fever in the Frozen? I feel like they did like it was one of the shorts, obviously, because there was no trailer between now in 2013, but one of the little mini series that they've done before the showing. As I remember seeing something, and they brought the screen down, and I can't remember which one though. But I think that's only because it was Frozen.
Yeah.
It
also limits the audience because they're only doing 3 performances a day, so not many people are going to see that trailer.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, though, it's like what. I guess we'll have to wait and see what they're actually showing. I'm guessing it's going to be some of the stuff we already saw at the D23 Expo. And not that that's not important, but it's, there's already an audience of diehard Disney fans out there who have seen it. It's Frozen, so does it really need that extra promotion? Everyone's going to go see it regardless of the fact that Disney's trying to tease it a little bit in the parks. I think that goes a little bit of a longer way with some of the movies that they're not quite as sure of in terms of their financial stability in the long run. But Frozen, they don't need to do any promotion with it. It's going to be massive regardless. But yeah, I was surprised
to promote
that it wasn't
that Star Wars film.
What?
It's like trying to promote that little Star Wars film that's coming up.
Well,
the little Star Wars film.
That needs promoted because no one likes Star Wars anymore. Galaxy's Edge is a complete failure. It's awful. So yeah, Star Wars needs a little bit of help that it can get, but Frozen definitely doesn't need it. And if you're also going on a Disney cruise or you're at Hollywood Studios, you'll have a chance to get sneak peeks of Frozen 2 as well. But for Disneylanders, your only way is going to be during performances of Frozen live at the Hyperion at DCA, and like we said, it'll probably happen right before. They also maybe if the show just stalls out in the middle, then they'll have a chance to start playing some
which
ads.
Sometimes happens.
Well, yeah, the one time that I saw it, that's when they were doing the sleigh chase scene, and they were just dangling up in the air, and didn't come down, so just the show kind of stopped right in the middle. Like that would have been a great time to just show a trailer. So.
Bring the screen down in front of them. Yeah,
but they didn't. But hey, life moves on, and we're going to move on to our next story. And I might make Tom talk about this a little bit because Tom, we did a poll in the room beforehand of who has the most experience with the Play Disney Parks app, and Tom actually said that he's played it the least.
Not it.
So that's why I'm making him talk about it the most. So we're only going to talk about the stuff at Disneyland. But Tom, what's going on with the Play Disney Parks app? There's new achievements, matching pins.
There are new achievements. So this is a free app. Do you have the list in front of you, Craig? It's a free app that you can download and just kind of kill time in line, I guess.
Yes.
There's trivia on there. There's games on there, and then like you can check in at a ride and you get a digital pin or a digital achievement. So they added a bunch of those to the list this week. They also have pins you can buy, Corey. That if you earn certain achievements, you take your phone, show it to the people at the pin shop, and you're allowed to buy coordinating pins, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought you'd like that. But that's also the app that we talked about with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that has the data pad on it where you can play the games in Galaxy's Edge. It's the same app, but in the rest of the parks, it's brighter and more but has the trivia and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I do think it's a fun app. I just don't utilize it. We joked before.
I never think about
Yeah, we joked about it before we. Oh my gosh, we're having a little lag today.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. We joked about it before we started recording that both Morgan and I have used it, but like the only place anyone uses it is actually in Peter Pan's Flight for some reason, just because, you know, unless you are the first person there at rope drop, chances are you have a little bit of wait in line, and everyone does seem to be active with it. And there's achievements that you see happening as you're in the queue that are actual physical achievements. So then that gets you thinking like, oh, maybe I should play this game as well too. But it's something I wish I could utilize more, but maybe now that I have a brand new iPhone that will keep its battery longer than a couple hours, I can actually do so. But the new achievements that Tom was mentioning at Disneyland Park, they're for Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin, Pinocchio's Daring Journey, Sleeping Beauty Castle Walkthrough, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Alice in Wonderland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Main Street Cinema, the Disneyland Story presenting great moments with Mr. Lincoln. That's making me think that some of these are trying to get to pull people in them. Over at DCA, we have The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure, Monsters, Inc., Mike and Sully to the Rescue, the Pixar Pal Around, and Frozen live at the Hyperion. There you go.
Now,
go see your Frozen 2 trailer and achievements.
So, but the pins that you can buy when you complete the achievement, do we know what they look like? Do they like resemble that attraction at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's an icon from the attraction.
They look just. Sorry?
Never mind.
Okay, I was going to say, it just looks just like the achievement, the little, that you see on the app. One also really cool thing about the app, the fortune teller on Main Street and the pirate near the exit of Pirates of the Caribbean, you can set it off with that app, and then you get your free fortune or pirate thing. I can't remember what it's called, but the pirate card. So I would sometimes do that, and you can do it once a day and get a free card. So if you wanted to do that and don't want to pay 25 cents, just download the app real quick.
I did not know that. I would actually do that because, like, well, I love those little things, but like one of the things I don't know how many times I went to Disneyland before I was finally able to get my card from Shrunken Ned. And the only reason I was able to get it is because Teresa was with me, and I'm like, I know that you carry actual physical currency. I only have cards, so
I think I've done that.
Yeah.
No, you said that out loud.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done it.
No, and
the fortune teller one is an actual story, so each card, it's a progression of a whole story. So it's like chapter 1, chapter 2, and I mean, it's not a long story, but it's kind of cool. So.
Well, I will have to take advantage of that the next time I'm there. So for the actual pins we're talking about, though, so if you earn the digital achievement for Monsters, Inc., Mike and Sully to the Rescue, then you can head over to Trolley Treats or the Studio Store to purchase the Scene is Believing pin. Ugh. Gross. And earn the digital achievement for Radiator Springs Racers, then head to Trolley Treats or Ramon's House of Body Art to purchase the Radiator Springs Racer pin. So that's your 2 from Disneyland. So if you're one of the people who's out there playing Disney parks, this is important to you. And if you're not, then maybe we convinced you to at least do it a little bit here and there. Peter Pan's Flight at the very least.
It's interested me to look into it. Because, I mean, if, like, the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln pin, if that like resembles the actual attraction at all, like they don't make those pins.
Well, there's not one for Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Oh, bummer.
That's only select.
Bummer.
Sorry. Apologize there. But that is it for that Play Disney Parks talk. But let's move on to the last of our Halloween talk, pretty much, probably for this entire month, maybe a little bit more next week, but the last for this show at least, I know. But we're going to talk about some of the Halloween options that Disney wants to highlight still that you can find at downtown Disney. And because I know Rhino doesn't have this pulled up,
Exactly what-
I'm going to put him on the spot with it.
I don't have this email.
Well, it's because we talked about it right before the show.
Oh, I didn't hear the Halloween stuff.
Oh, so
I heard
Rhino-
the played Disney park stuff and all the other stuff, and I know what we're going to talk about at the end and everything.
Well, now would be the time to probably get on your computer and start pulling it up.
I don't believe in the internet.
Disneyinfo.com. Hey,
Oh, I typed the wrong address already.
you know, what's the point of a computer if you don't utilize it? Sorry, what's the point of a computer in front of you if you don't utilize it? That'll be the next question we answer in
Mood
this.
lighting?
But okie dokie. So so like I mentioned, there's going to be still a whole bunch of treats that you can find throughout the Halloween season at downtown Disney, and of course you have to know that at places like Marceline's Confectionery, there's going to be the caramel apples and Rice Krispies and all that garbage that's there every year in and out. They'll change up the character. This year, you can't have anything without being inundated by Maleficent, now out in theaters. Not doing amazing in theaters, but now out in theaters. But then there's other interesting ones. And Rhino, why don't we start with our one of our most disappointing restaurant experiences?
Yeah.
Why don't you start with what they offer there and then go through the list?
So over at Black Tap Craft Burgers and Shakes, you can try the Halloween Crazy Shake. They really got crazy with the name there. That is a vanilla frosted rim with candy corn, topped with a spider web chocolate cupcake, orange and white twisty pop, and orange rock candy, whipped cream, orange sprinkles, and a chocolate drizzle. Blech.
Only $59.95.
Yeah, right.
You're not too far off, Tom. So it's
yeah.
actually $56.99. So
I will say at Ralph Brennan's though, I would order it just because of the name, the apple blueberry cobbler with dulce de leche ice cream. Although that ice cream's in parentheses, which makes me nervous. Why? Oh, ice cream.
yeah, it's ice scream. That's the parenthesis is because
Got it.
ice cream.
Got
But
it.
Then they're also doing a spiced pumpkin cocktail there. I know you're a fan.
Oh,
of,
I'd go there for just literally those two things right there.
Yeah, no, I definitely interested in that. but-
And one of the things that I was a little saddened by when we were out on our Disneyland trip for at Salt and Straw, every year they do these special Halloween flavors, and we missed it by just a little bit of time there. But they have the Great Candy Copia, Creepy Crawly Critters, and Mummy's Pumpkins Spiced Potion. I would have gotten all of these. The Creepy Crawly Critters was pretty good. I recommend it. That was the first thing I'd ever had at a Salt and Straw in Culver City.
Yeah, I was interested in what the Great Candy Copia one is, so I just looked it up, and it also sounds amazing. And there's the
Read
story.
it. Tell me, what is that?
As darkness falls across the land, the candy-making hour is close at hand.
Ooh.
Swarms of house-made trick-or-treat favorites, crisp
Ooh.
shortbread and nuggy nougat buried in caramel, peanut butter trapped inside walls of chocolate, pecan smothered in bourbon vanilla toffee, all get folded into a disgustingly delicious salted butterscotch ice cream.
Ooh, butterscotch. You got me.
Stuck for eternity.
Oh, that sounds so good.
That does
So
sound
good.
very good, and that's also available at other locations as
I want
well.
to. Can you tell me what Mummy's Pumpkins Spiced Potion is too?
I'm
that sounds good. I want that
getting
one.
there?
Because that one doesn't. I know Great Candy Copia has been there before on Creepy Crawly Critters, but I don't remember what was in Mummy's Pumpkin Spiced
Okay,
Potion.
here we go. I have Mummy's Pumpkin Spice Potion up, and it's in the middle of our lab, a cauldron boiling, amber leaves of rooibos, you know, the Rooibos. See what
Rubius?
T? I don't know how it's pronounced. Flicker. Then flakes of pumpkin make the gruel thicker. A fuming broth of caramel swizzles, while a sliver of blackberry shoot fizzles. I can't do this anymore.
It sounds like you were saying a bad word.
Okay, I'm
but
just gonna
in
start.
Dr. Seuss language.
Yeah.
Shoe fizzles. I can't do this anymore.
Let me just start over. In the middle of our lab, a cauldron boiling, amber leaves of rooibos flicker, then flakes of pumpkin. Rubus. Fine.
I don't know if I don't think it's Roybus. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Oh, do the YouTube.
We're doing it.
Please
fill in the.
I don't have that description. Ooh, spooky sounds. Boo. So. Roybos. Oh my gosh, you were right.
Roybos.
Okay. I learned something today.
Okay, amber leaves of rooibos flicker, then flakes of pumpkin make the gruel thicker. A fuming broth of caramel sizzles, while a sliver of blackberry shoot fizzles. 3 stinging droplets of vanilla smolder, featuring August uncommon tea. This intoxicating buttery concoction will satiate your deepest, darkest pumpkin spice latte desires.
Interesting.
Yummy.
I want to try all 3 of those.
My stomach hurts just from trying to say that. I feel like at this point, now that I've gone through 2, I need to actually just read the description for creepy crawly critters.
Can you do it with a voice, though?
This is the one with the edible bugs.
The voice. I liked the voice.
I'll be honest, I don't normally do the voices on the Disney shows. I save that for the Universal shows, like in a world. Like so it's very weird doing this. Okay, I'll try to do creepy crawly critters in a fun way now.
Cool.
1 to 10 prickles along your skin. Dozens of critters are hiding in. Nope, I already screwed this one up. This one doesn't rhyme as much. 1 to 10 prickles along your skin. Dozens of critters are hiding in the grass by way of this matcha ice cream with toffee brittle mealworms and chocolate crickets. Don Bugito in Oakland provided the delicious insects. We delivered the creepy.
Oh.
So those are our 3 salt and straw flavors, and that's how you get 5 minutes out of salt and straw. Thank you.
Sprinkles also has their pumpkin cupcake, which is pretty good. I like that one. And the Boo Box assortment. I don't know what's in that. And then you can visit Wetzel's Pretzels for the pumpkin spice caramel dip. Mm-hmm. And then they got a bunch of Halloween merch that you can still get down there.
The only other thing I found interesting in the article as Disney was talking about it is that they, on apparently Friday evenings, Wednesday and Friday evenings, there's scarolers who are out entertaining guests. Has anyone seen the scarolers? Obviously, only the 2 people. Nope, shaking your head.
I've seen the regular carolers, but not the scarolers.
Well, these are scarolers, though.
Yeah, because they're scary.
Because they're dressed as ghosts.
They're dead.
Lately, my favorite thing is when I go to the Halloween parties with Kylie, and we pass someone dressed as a ghost, and she'll, like, comment on their outfits. I'll be like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. And it's... I think I actually really messed with her one night, and I think I got her to believe that she actually saw ghosts because they were really done well. So, but yeah, ghosts. So that's your Halloween fun at Downtown Disney. If you're going to be in Downtown Disney, think about ways that you can incorporate the fun there. But we are going to move on into the updates. But before we get there, I also forgot in my housekeeping at the top of the show. Last week, you might remember when we talked a little bit more about the Fast Pass kiosks in Tomorrowland. Well, we don't really have to wonder what's going on with those because our very own Nancy Johnson was out there like the crazy lady she is, trying them all out and seeing what the entire deal was. And I'm only saying that with like a slight bit of sarcasm. She's obviously not crazy, but she sent me a message saying like, oh, I went and checked out the Fast Pass kiosks. I went on Facebook and there was like 19 different videos she did from Disneyland on Sunday that you can find at facebook.com/disunplugged. I know Rhino and I recommend the one she did from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, she tried out the new popcorn at Katsaka's Kettles, and it's basically for the first 30 seconds of the video, she describing the atmosphere of Galaxy's Edge, and then does this cold hard stop and like, I'm Nancy Johnson from the Unplugged Disneyland edition. Like, she was a news reporter. Like, dozens left without homes.
Hi,
children
everyone.
Crying.
I'm Nancy Johnson.
Fires ablaze everywhere. Hi, I'm Nancy Johnson. And tonight...
Ships flying in. Aliens about. Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Johnson.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious. So I have to just give a shout out. I should have, if she would have talked to me, we'll work it out. It would have made for great segments that we could have dropped here in this show, but and we'll work on that in the future with that a little bit. But please head over to facebook.com/DizUnplugged. Obviously like the page and follow that page if you can, but check out Nancy's videos of the Fast Pass kiosks and in her trying the food at Katsaka's Kettles, the new popcorn. Really, really entertaining stuff there. But with that, Morgan, why don't you go over your updates with us?
Of course. Oh, I tried that. I don't know what Nancy said about it, but I tried the popcorn, and it tastes like Cocoa Puff cereal. So if you like Cocoa Puff cereal, then you'll like this.
I do like
Did you use the kiosks?
Did I use the what?
The kiosks?
kiosks.
The kiosks?
It's got a.
Did you use the Fast Pass kiosks?
Oh, no, because I have Max Pass. I don't need it.
Wow.
I did walk past it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Max Pass.
I have Max Pass. But there was like 4 or 5 cast members and like a leader standing around that. So if you have any questions about it, there are plenty of people to help you out there. So
just give me a second before you start. I need to write a note that we no longer need you on this show because you're not willing to go out and research. It's all about.
So connecting the two stories, they have video screens in Tomorrowland showing what the return times are.
Mm-hmm.
Those video screens are the screens they used one day for Galaxy's Edge when they were doing the boarding zones.
Oh, that's just
They
smart.
They repurposed them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
They put little planners around them to make it look like it's going to be there for a while and make it all official.
No, that's a smart way to utilize resources that you already have. So applaud Disney.
They need the money. So
well, and they didn't have to fire cast members or cut back on hours in order to reallocate those screens. So good for them. But okay, Morgan, get on with those updates.
Okay, so construction update. There is snow on top of the Sleeping Beauty Castle in October.
Snow.
I'm not happy about it personally because
There's no way.
I just love Halloween. I think the snow on the castle is beautiful, but just I want to enjoy all of Halloween, even though it's been around for feels like 2 months now.
No way, Jose.
No one cares.
Yeah. So it's on there. If you are there in person and look closely, it's very different than last year because they've done the paint job to the castle now. I feel like they put the snow on in a different way. I don't know how to describe it unless you saw it in person. What'd you say?
Nothing. A bad joke.
Yeah, he's continuing to make snow pun jokes.
Okay. Also, in addition to the castle, very Small World
Pays no
is
attention to me.
down for getting it ready for Christmas time as well. And then also the other areas in the Small World Mall, like the Fantasy Fair gift shop, is completely surrounded by the construction walls. And then also that upper area where it's good for parade viewing is completely surrounded by construction walls. And I was there yesterday, and they were working on I don't know how you call them, the pillars.
Mm-hmm.
That are there. They look like they were painting them and retouching those up. So
Wait,
I will say, from the photo you're sending, you sent us of Sleeping Beauty Castle that, of course, people have seen or are seeing. I don't know if it's up on the screen right now. The snow definitely looks a little thicker to me. And it also, I don't know if it's just the white balance on the photo you sent, but I'm seeing more tints of blue in the snow.
yeah,
Well, I think they retouched the snow so that it's the same blue, the same new blue as the castle is now, instead of the old blue.
I think
if you see it in person, it almost looks like they just put a little tent over it, not a hard shell thing. I wouldn't know.
Oh, it's like a fabric, more fabric, I
Yes.
guess, because this looks like they took something that is fabric and covered it.
If you look closely to the pink, the center windows, you kind of see there's a big gap around that window.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
On the roof.
I'm happy that this snow's already up there. Not that I'm there to see it. I know Morgan's issue with Halloween being still...
Give me till
not
November
even here.
1st.
No. Here's the problem,
Yes,
though.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
There's not time.
Yeah, at that point, if they wait until November 1st, then we have to push
Won't be
back Christmas celebrations
Till
at
November
Disneyland.
7th.
This stuff takes time. It takes time.
Here's the thing. Their Halloween didn't start until like the 17th of September. So they're cutting it a lot shorter over there than when, like, at Hollywood Studios, they're putting up the stars already. And I'm like, ugh, I'm frustrated by that. However, we had our stuff started in August. So,
Well, I'm going to tell you, I've learned two things in life. Halloween is great, but there's two things in life that sell. I'm not going to say what one of them is. Robert California knows, and you know. And the second is Christmas. And so, yeah, they've got to have Christmas ready. They've got to launch right into Christmas after. You know what? My parents live on a mountain. It's already snowed at their house. So it's not like snow isn't possible. I remember trick-or-treating as a kid, and it had snowed before. I know it's not natural for California, but Colorado's already been dumped on by snow. It snows this time of year for some places. So why can't it start snowing on Sleeping Beauty's castle?
And you know what? If you came over my house right now, the Christmas tree is up. Christmas decorations are out. I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, I think I said it on this show a couple weeks back. My wife and I nearly went straight to Christmas because we waited so long to put up our Halloween stuff. I'm happy that I did stick with Halloween. I think it came out nice in some places, not so nice in others. But I'm ready for Christmas, so I'm happy that Christmas is coming to Disneyland, and you can bring home a little Christmas and Sleeping Beauty Castle too, right, Morgan?
Yes. So they already started getting out ornaments, which I'm okay with. There was 4 new ones that I just think are especially cute. They're brand new. All ornaments are 2-sided, but I feel like they paid more attention to this time. So front is Sleeping Beauty's castle for one of them, and on the back it shows the inside of Sleeping Beauty's castle. So there's a spinning wheel up top and like other castle features at the bottom. They also have the firehouse, which on the back side it has Walt's apartment and then Pluto at the bottom. Then there's Mickey and Minnie's house. They're really, really cute. I really like them a lot. I'd probably be getting them. They are $29.99, and then but if you get 3, you can get them for $20 each, not 3 for $20. That's where they
basically
get you.
like buy 2, get 1 free.
Yeah, but that's a so I'm ticked off about that because I haven't seen Morgan. Do you have photos of the firehouse one too, or did you only take the Sleeping Beauty
Yes.
Castle?
I'll send them to you.
Okay, well then people will see it for the show, but like the Sleeping Beauty Castle one, like to me, this is a must-have. I love that it's on a clip basically where you can take off the portion that makes it an ornament, a hanging ornament, and it would look great just sitting on a desk or any other place where you like to stack your clutter. Tom, I see a perfect place for it right behind your head. And to me, it's one of those things. It's going to be a must-have. $30, a little steep. And I mean, when I say a little steep, I mean a lot of steep. So I might have to make some cast member friends there and take advantage of discounts. But with what you're saying, like with the firehouse, I'm all down for that too. Yeah. Mickey and Minnie's house, I don't know if I want either one of them to really take advantage.
I just sent you the email.
You just sent it?
I just sent it. But they're really cute. I was with you, Craig. I was like, do I buy this right now? Like, do I want to?
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting Sleeping Beauty's castle for sure.
Yeah.
And I like that they did the firehouse. I would love if they had like all the main shops on Main Street or other iconic
that'd be cool.
houses and then have like a whole tree of it. I think that's really fun. I really like theme trees.
Like, you know those like Christmas village things, like where like they have like the farmers market and you know the gas station. It'd be cool to have like a Christmas village of Disneyland. That'd be awesome.
They used to have one, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was Toontown. We used to have that, and I don't know when it ended up, but it was like a Christmas village of Mickey's Toontown.
That's so cool.
Well, we've now seen we now have the email with the Mickey and Minnie's house on there. I will say they are adorable, and we have the backside of the firehouse, and That is awesome. You know, it has Walt's lantern in the window and two chairs on either side, and then Pluto standing by the firehouse doors because he's a dog. Got to have a dog in a firehouse. Oh my gosh, this is a line that I can get behind.
Yeah.
Cool.
I hope that eventually they'll do like Donald's house and Goofy's house and Chippendale's tree house. I think that'll be. I hope they have yet to come out with them, but they're going to be coming out this year.
That's nuts.
Because of Chippendale's house.
Okay, what else do we have, Morgan?
All right, so the one piece of merchandise that we just needed more of is there's another Spirit jersey out. They have a white Spirit jersey, but it's like fluffy for winter because, you know, California and Florida both just get so cold that you need a fluffy Spirit jersey. But those are available now for $74.99. I think it's cute. But theirs are just so steep. Like, I have 2 Spirit jerseys, and I can't let myself get any more because they are way too expensive.
Yeah, it looks like they went to a Bed Bath and Beyond and just took a bunch of white bath mats and then just sewed them into a Spirit jersey and attached Disneyland on it. So
that is what they look like.
Yeah,
it's not as terry cloth as it looks, but it's like fluffier.
I'm not gonna yell at anyone for spending $75 on it. But I will question their purchasing decisions and, you know, maybe give them a tisk. But that's, very
Such
interesting.
Harsh language.
Yeah. I'm harsh sometimes. Anything else, Mo?
The last thing, food update is there is a Maleficent cotton candy. And if you like cotton candy and you like spending money, it's $12 and you get a glow stick at the end of it. I didn't want to spend the money to buy it and figure out what flavor it was, but it's just different colors. I think it's all the same flavor, but the little glow stick at the end is kind of lame. So
I'm sure it tastes like disappointment, just like
I think it does
2
too.
Now out in theaters.
I asked my friend that works in food, you know who you are, and I asked him what flavor it was, and he said sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Like, that's not helpful.
Yeah, sometimes that's the tough part on the sugary things. Everything tastes like sugar, but then there's random occasions where stuff actually does taste unique despite the sugar overload. I'm looking at you, Fanta. No, Fanta's not going to respond.
The soda?
Yeah. They are all sugar, but uniquely different. The orange doesn't taste like pineapple, and the pineapple doesn't taste like strawberry. And the strawberry tastes like grape.
Usually how flavors work.
Yes, but with cotton candy, unless it's like a very distinct flavor, it tastes like sugar. Just sugar.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sticking by that. But, okay, thanks for the updates, Morgan, and we are now going to move on to our final portion of this show, and that's Morgan talking about Avengers damage control, that experience at the Void that we talked about before. And Morgan was happy enough to go out and experience it, and not only does she have a full recap of it, but she's got tips, she's got tricks, she's got advice, and hopefully the most important part, is it worth it?
If you're a Marvel fan, I walked out with the biggest smile on my face going, that was so cool. It was $40, and you ideally want to go with a group or a family of 4. Unfortunately, we were stuck with 2 strangers, and they weren't very helpful, and they kind of got in our way, and then kind of, I don't know, it wasn't a good experience with them, but the overall experience was absolutely amazing. It was a little bit longer. Instead of 20 minutes, it was 25 minutes. I really enjoyed it so much. Okay, so the Star Wars one, like we talked about last week, it was $30, but this one was $40. When you were walking around, I feel like you kind of went to a bunch of different areas, but you stopped for longer compared to the Star Wars one.
Where were you walking around and going to?
So you start in a Wakandan training facility, and you're practicing a little bit, which I probably say later that I wish you got to practice a little bit longer before the enemy came in. and started taking over everything. Wait, I should start in the beginning.
Yeah,
So I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah, let's start at the very beginning, and obviously spoilers if you plan on going out and doing this. Skip this part, but tell us, what's the actual story? What's the purpose of this?
The story is you're testing out new suits, and there's an enemy coming in, and Suri's like, nah, they got it, or Shuri says, oh, they got it, and then Ultron comes in with all of his robots and starts attacking and tries to get the suit, and then you get sent. Sorry, we did it last week. Totally blanking out right now. I forget where you go. Oh, you go through a portal, and you go to Doctor Strange's headquarters in New York, and you follow the cape. Not the cape, the cloak. I'm such a horrible Marvel fan for not remembering all these exact terms, but it's so cool because you're standing there and he like walks around the apartment or the house that he's in, and he comes like right up to you, and then if you're standing on the other side, he comes up right to you then. And then there was, after you're done talking with him, you go down these, or before you get to him, you go down these steps, and like I had to like turn to Junior and be like, are we actually going down? Because we went down like 3 levels of steps, but I realized like, okay, no, we're not. We're literally just walking in circles. But I really did think like we were going downstairs because, you're seeing it. And then from there, we got through, like, basically you're going to all these places through Doctor Strange's portal that he has. And we end up with Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they come in. The only problem about the bigger scenes that you're seeing is there's a lot of other characters that come in, but you don't really know who's talking, or you know who's talking, but you don't know where they are because, the graphics are only so good. And then also, like, when you have headphones on, I wish they had like, okay, if they're on your right side, it's going to come through your right earphone, and then vice versa. So like it's coming through both sides. I'm like, I don't know where to look. And so that kind of happened with Shuri in the beginning too. Like I was just, I was on the left side of the training facility, and I didn't even realize she was right on the right side till she was walking out. So it was kind of a bummer, but just like make sure you look all around you. They did do this really cool thing where they shrunk you down to Ant-Man size, and the ground vibrates, and it's so cool because you feel like you're shrinking down. And then from there, you're battling, you're fighting, and then you get in this a helicarrier or something like that. And then at one point, the 2 people we were with, one took one control, and then another took the other control, and we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll just stand here and wait. And you fly off into your next mission, and at one point it breaks off, and I like felt the actual the walls, and you could actually walk into the other one, even though visually it's way on your left at a distance, and you're seeing the other person that's driving the escape pod of it. That part was really weird because you were battling, but you're still like in this ship thing, and so you can't really have like a lot of control of what you're doing. And then from there, you're at another location, which is very similar to like an airport, and then every cameo ever of any Avenger that's still alive is there. Thor is there, Captain Marvel's there. This whole heat from Captain Marvel comes in. They did a lot of elements where they're playing with the temperature, which I really liked, because in the Star Wars,
actually them though, right?
Excuse me?
Are they the actual actors?
It's hard to tell because one, they are at a distance, and then 2, like the graphics aren't super crisp. I'm like, unless Doctor Strange was like coming right at us, like I could see like that's clearly the actor. So, and then Captain Marvel had her, I guess, fire costume on, or when she like has like the full face mask. So you can't really tell for her. And it wasn't Fat Thor. It was Thor gets back in shape Thor. So I was a little disappointed about that. And then from there, you're battling with everybody. Hawkeye comes back. Oh my gosh, there were so many. I literally can't remember. I wish I wrote them all down. But the 2 big ones were Thor and Captain Marvel. And yeah, so I think that was like the whole storyline that I can remember. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So should I start in the beginning of like the process and like the suits and everything that you get to pick out?
Yeah, go over that.
Okay, so in the beginning, there's 2 suits, or two types of suits that are Stark Industries and Wakandan technology, and the top row is male suits, the bottom is female suits. For each gender, you get this different choices of 8 different colors. Trying to think, and then they scan it to your wristband that has your barcode on it, and then they hook that up to your suit. In the Star Wars one, there's a point where you start to pick up blasters. We were all kind of worried, like, okay, how is the firing and gonna happen? But for the one in damage control, you use your hands. So that was kind of tricky. And again, like I said, I wish we had more practice with it because your hands have to be in your line of sight. And so I would recommend always putting it above your shoulders so the VR can see that your hands are there. I guess that's how you explain it. So to shoot, you put one hand out, or you put both hands out for the super repulse blaster. And then for your shield, you go like this, or if you want a bigger shield, you do 2. I tried to do one shield and fire because it did say that you could do that, and it showed in the demonstration, but it was very, very difficult, or the system was a little glitchy in that aspect. There is a huge delay on the repulsor blast, which made it kind of hard to time everything. But what I would just recommend is doing double repulsor blast because it's more of an impact instead of just trying to keep shooting little ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This I've been reading an article about it while you were talking. I just decided I was going to spoil it for myself, and it's pretty fascinating. This article actually says to try and not rush out of the rooms from room to room, to wait a second, because you can look around and I guess there's a lot of stuff to see in each room. A lot of small nods to every movie.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I was going to ask you about. Not that, obviously your description of it didn't just take 25 minutes, but it seemed like you literally went, and we were here and then there and then there and then there. You're describing an experience that seems very fast paced, and 25 minutes. It's all comes down to whether or not you believe that's a solid amount of time. But you're really describing a situation that seems very fast paced. Did it feel too fast paced, or is it really just come down to describing it's different?
I think it was actually. Oh, sorry, it's glitching a bit. So, what was the last part of your question?
Did it just feel too fast, or did it feel paced correctly?
It felt like just the right. I felt like it was paced correctly. I feel like it was slower than the Star Wars one because I feel like the Star Wars, it was just rushing you from room to room. But there was a lot of different scenes and things to go to, but you did stop and kind of hang out in each scene for a couple of minutes, maybe about 3 to 5 minutes. So it was really good, well paced. Obviously, you can't stay too long because the random strangers you're with are wanting to keep going. But yeah.
I really want to do this. I read this whole article and now the story and everything. I already wanted to do it from the beginning, but seeing how much you enjoyed it and knowing it's a little bit longer too is also I'm like, okay. When I did it the first time, I was like, this is definitely worth it.
Would you say that this is more compared to the Star Wars one for people who've done that? Would you say this is something that is, more people would be able to enjoy it, or does this take someone who maybe is more experienced in VR and has expertise?
I would say it's easier than the Star Wars one because, the Star Wars one, you have a gun, and then in damage control, you're relying on your hands, which we all hopefully know how to use our hands. And it's really good. I'll send a picture that we can put in the video that you can see of what the actions are so you can understand what they are before going in, because I had no idea if we were going to have a gun or if we were going to be like Iron Man. So it's very interesting. Definitely get some practice before you go in. I feel like that'll make your experience so much better.
But sorry. I was going to say, do you feel like the experience is completely different from Star Wars though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because that was one of the things we were worried about, if it's the same effects and kind of going through the same rooms but a different layout or a different overlay, and it felt totally different. There was some same effects of like temperature change or getting really hot or really cold, or the ground vibrating and stuff. But other than that, it was very, very good. I really liked it. I totally forgot anything about the Star Wars experience. I feel like you probably stopped in very similar rooms, but I wasn't aware of it. And like the direction change was a little different. When you get in the helicarrier, it feels very similar to when you have to, in the Star Wars one, when you have to decode. That was the only thing that I felt similar, because it was about the same time that you'd walk through there, and the same like effects going on, if that makes sense.
Very interesting. So you also mentioned that you get a little takeaway by doing this experience too? Freebie?
Oh, my tips?
No, freebies.
Sorry?
Did they give you something?
Oh, yes. They gave you 2 different posters that are really cool at the end, and you do get your take pictures at the end, but it's $10 or $15 if you get like the frame with it or something like that. We didn't get it, even though we had a really great time. But yeah, Rhino, you should come out, man. It's really, really cool, especially when you're like a big Marvel fan like I am. You're just like, oh, there's that person, like everybody's here. And you get to be Iron Man.
Yeah, I was going to say, just being able to shoot the repulsor rays out of your hand is cool enough for me.
Any talk at the Void of them continuing the experience beyond its limited time run?
I know that I was there on the second day. I went on Saturday, and it was all sold out. Like people were like, "Oh, what's this?" and like trying to like, oh, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're all sold out today." I will say though, our time was 10:45 a.m. and we didn't get in there till 11:10, which was a little irritating that we had to like wait so long since we had like a reservation time. So I don't know what was up with that, or if it was just super crowded that day. But yeah, you do get a free poster, or two different free posters.
And that is the value that you put on it yourself. So does anyone have any final questions for Morgan about the experience? No? Okay. Well, thank you, Morgan, for sharing your experience. And I think you provided enough for us to decide whether or not it's worth it on our own. And, if you want to get out there, limited time. And
I think it's like only the month into November.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's very, very limited time. Maybe it'll get extended if guest feedback is that positive.
Well, I was thinking maybe they didn't want to get rid of Star Wars yet. Not get rid of it, but they didn't want to rotate Star Wars out yet because of the movie coming out. So that this could come, even if it goes, maybe it could rotate back in. But if you want to do it now.
Yeah. You're safer off doing it now instead of waiting and seeing what might happen in the future. But again, Morgan, thank you. Before we end the show here, I have to give one last plug again. Already mentioned it multiple times throughout the show, but definitely for more content here.
Sorry, I just read online the poster she got was only because she went during a specific time. They don't normally give that out, apparently. It says, between October 18th and the 20th, receive an exclusive Avengers Damage Control poster at select Void locations while supplies last.
Well,
they look like they had a lot, so hopefully there'll be enough for all the people that want one.
Good. Well, thank you. Thank you, Rhino, for that. Otherwise, we were going to have to comment on that next week, I'm sure, with people saying, you told us there'd be a poster there, and there wasn't, and I demand justice. I didn't get enough justice playing as a superhero. I demand extra justice, but it's all fine. It's okay. So, So, again, let me get back on track here because I stumbled off there for a second. But for that extra content I was talking to you about with Nancy Johnson, head over to facebook.com/DizUnplugged. Watch her ridiculous review of Katsuka's Kettle. Like, Tom, you need to do it right after. You clearly haven't watched it yet. It's zany. It's fun. And then also Nancy using the fast pass machines and such. And of course at youtube.com/DizUnplugged, you can see those extra dining reviews that we have going up featuring Brown Hair Lady person and Tom Bell, and then a different one. And of course you can also find those in our iTunes feeds or wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, any of them, Google Play. all there for you. So thank you so much, everyone out there, for listening and watching. Thank you to all the people in the room with me and on the computer for participating. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the Diz Unplugged Disneyland edition. But remember what Tom Bell always says, Disneyland's more magical when you pay $40 to go to the void.